I have OCD and it's feral. It's like a feral rash that doesn't want to go away. There was this one teacher at my school who never understood Tourette's, along with my OCD and my ADHD, never. And she banned me from going on my Year 7 camp. My mum was so upset. She's like, how is she banning you from going on camp? I don't know, I'm so upset. Never went on my Year 7 camp. Wish I did. It was only to cut a pedal. But it's the principle, right? I still think about that to this day.
When someone has a comorbid illness, it means that they meet the criteria for more than one mental health diagnosis at a time.
One of the conditions that is quite common to have with anxiety is depression. So about 1 in 4 people are estimated in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to experience anxiety, and about 1 in 6 are estimated to experience depression. And quite often it's the same people who might be experiencing both of those. Often when they come together, it is anxiety that predates the depression.
You can be anxious 1 minute, and then as soon as you get it under control, you go into this deep down gloom, everything is hopeless kind of thing, and you can oscillate between those two extremes quite a bit.
I suffer from the occasional anxiety attack, panic attacks, feelings of depression. I've attempted ending my own life a few times. Last time I tried was like April 2021, and since then I've been all right. Since then.
From the depression side of things, it can go into that self-doubt and get you into a real worked up, anxious state.
I have anxiety, suspected ADHD, and PTSD. It makes me quite angry, I think, more than anything. And I feel like I can't sit still. I have to physically be doing something at all times, whether that's getting up and doing the dishes or cross-stitching, like stabbing something, not myself. Yeah, just making something or doing something.
There's a comorbidity between anxiety disorders and eating disorders. Studies have shown that the rate of anxiety disorders alongside eating disorders is between 50 and 80% of people who struggle with eating disorders will also have an anxiety disorder. And people who present for treatment with an anxiety disorder, about 11% of them will go on to be diagnosed with an eating disorder.
Anxiety is literally one of the leading co-occurring mental health conditions that is definitely there before an eating disorder develops for many, many people, and it's definitely exacerbated when somebody becomes seriously malnourished or in a position of negative energy deficit is what we say. So basically it's underfueling your requirements for whatever reason.
With my OCD, I think there was a time when I was ignoring it. I was in a new city and I was away from family, and being away from those people, I think, meant that I didn't have as many people around me who would notice that I was really deteriorating. So it wasn't until I essentially stopped eating altogether and got really sick and really underweight and went back home, that then I had a massive amount of support around me, and then it was just kind of all hands on deck.
With some presentations, not all, you're also driven very much by anxiety about how you look, social anxiety, mixing with people, isolation. You're just never good enough. And you don't deserve help. That's how it feels.
Society suggests that some bodies are better than others, and actually this sets us all up to feel bad about ourselves.
My core issue was food. So food is what I tend to turn to when I'm feeling like crap. I'm an emotional eater. When I feel like crap, I eat. When I feel good, I eat. So trying to change that relationship is quite scary. Because it's all I've known.
Other developmental disorders like ADHD and autism also have high levels of anxiety that can be comorbid with those as well.
I swear I have ADHD. And I've been self-diagnosing myself for like 2 years. My brain is never silent, because that's another annoying part of my anxiety, is that if the washing machine is going and the kids are crying and Shane's trying to tell me something and I can see a mess, I die inside. I can't, there's so much and it's sensory overload. And so I went to my doctor and said to him, I think I have ADHD. And he was like, yep, I think you do too.
The thing about health problems and mental health challenges is they often hunt in packs, so they often come together, right? And I almost think that's kind of just about more normal than just having one challenge at the time, yeah? And so we need to be mindful of that when we're trying to support people and making sure we're working through what's on top. The nice thing about that is the things that are good for your mood, like if you're depressed, are also usually good for your anxiety.